The long-running and iconic Zelda series is made up of many different stories and tales in the form of each installment. Each game offers a different telling or adventure of the hero Link and the history of Hyrule. The series currently has 19 mainline installments, all with their own unique story and adventure spanning across the chronological Zelda timeline, which covers hundreds and thousands of years of lore, history, and adventures. These stories are what makes Zelda games. It's what we remember each game for most of the time. The contents of the story, the characters, items, and events that take place in each game. But none of these stories are your straightforward adventure. During Link's many ventures to take out the evil plaguing Hyrule, the story takes a sudden twist. An adventure going smoothly that is suddenly hit by a block in the road. Sometimes it's a dear friend being attacked and kidnapped by a monster. Other times it's a lot more drastic, like finding out the true identity to the evil you've been fighting this whole time. And even finding out the entire story isn't what you were led to believe. This series is filled with plot twists. From minor to major twists, the Zelda series has them. And I thought it would be a fun idea to rank my personal top 5 plot twists in the series. The most shocking, unpredictable, and just outright story-changing plot twists. If it's not already obvious, this video will contain story spoilers for multiple games in the series. I will note what game each pick is from before going into it, so consider those and this a spoiler warning. Be sure to go grab yourself a snack or drink, and stay inside and wash your hands, and let's get into my top 5 favourite plot twists in The Legend of Zelda. An Ancient Secret, The Wind Waker. Kicking off our list takes us to one of the most unique adventures Link has gone on, his first adventure out at sea. The Wind Waker is the first game in the adult timeline, the timeline in which no hero was present when Ganon attacked, resulting in the gods ordering everyone to take refuge on the mountaintops and then began flooding the land in order to stop Ganon from taking over. Hundreds of years later, after the events of Ocarina of Time and the Great Flood, a young boy named Link becomes of age to partake in an islander tradition where boys dress in green clothes to pay reverence to the hero of time from long ago. This adventure is honestly a bit bizarre when you think about it. A young boy's sister is kidnapped by a massive bird, which results in him joining some pirates to sail the seas and search for his sister, which then drags him into this massive quest to stop Ganondorf. You gotta love it though. Not far into the game, Link finds himself being launched into the sea in the middle of the night, which results in him falling concussed, but being rescued by a mysterious red boat. The next morning when Link wakes up, dazed and confused, he begins to talk to this boat in what must feel like a hallucination at first, but reality quickly sets in that this really is a talking boat. From here they team up as the boat is willing to help Link on his quest to save his sister, which eventually leads on to the bigger picture of this adventure. After the pair take on all sorts of evil infecting islands across the sea and tracking down the source and man behind all of this chaos, the King of Red Lions takes Link and Tetra below the sea to the ancient kingdom of Hyrule. The same kingdom that was flooded hundreds of years ago. It is here that the King of Red Lions reveals himself to be the King of Hyrule. The King of Hyrule who lost his kingdom hundreds of years ago. This whole time, that magical red boat who was willing to help Link was actually the King of Hyrule. After this reveal, the story really sets in. The bigger picture is revealed, and the pair resume the mission of seeking the source of destruction, Ganondorf. But it doesn't end there. At the end of the game, after Link plunges the Master Sword into Ganondorf's skull, avenging the king's now flooded kingdom, King Daphnis No Hands in Hyrule decides to stay with his kingdom. As it begins to return to its fully flooded state, he stays knowing it is now avenged and in peace. This identity plot twist was hard to wrap my head around when I first played the game back in the day, but looking at it again recently, it's honestly one of the most interesting in the series, venturing the seas far and wide to find out you were actually under the wing of the king from flooded Hyrule. Guess Who? Twilight Princess. Next up takes us to my absolute favourite video game of all time, The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess. Link's adventure into the shadows infecting Hyrule. This time around, Hyrule is threatened by an external threat. A threat not from Hyrule. The Twilight, an alternate realm of darkness, the other side of the coin if you will. This place was originally used for banishing the worst of the worst, firstly being the Interlopers, a group of evil Hylians whose greed for the Triforce got them locked away forever. Throughout Link's quest, he is seeking out relics from this mysterious Twilight, firstly the fused shadow pieces and then the mirror shards to access the Twilight realm. The world is slowly becoming infected in this shadowy matter known as the Twilight, a horrible darkness shrouding the land, turning people into spirits and being overrun by monsters of the darkness like shadow beasts and shadow Cargaroks. To Link's knowledge, this is the doing of Zant, the Ursper King, the ruler of the Twilight Realm. Zant is an evil, eccentric maniac who is out to take over Hyrule and take out Link's companion, Midna, the true ruler of the Twilight Realm that he overthrew from the throne. The game is essentially Link and Midna trying to hunt Zant down and catch up with him in order to put a stop to his antics. Together, they venture into 7 dungeons, going through thick and thin until they finally get a one-on-one chance with Zant inside the game's 8th dungeon, the Palace of Twilight. Link battles this master villain who has caused so much pain to Hyrule, and manages to take him out with the help of Midna. Once Link wears him down enough, once Zant knows he is done for, before Midna finishes him off, he tells Link and Midna that he is actually under the wing of a much greater evil. His master, Ganon. Claiming Ganon will resurrect him anyway, so go ahead and take him out. And would you believe it? Midna absolutely destroys Zant in a bizarre fashion, blowing him up like a balloon. This is where we learn that the big bad of the Zelda series is still around. Ganon lives on. To our knowledge, he was banished to the Twilight Realm years ago, and has never been seen again. But little did we know, Ganon was behind all of this. Zant was but a mere puppet under the control of Ganon, and soon enough we met Ganon, in the form of Ganondorf in the throne room of Hyrule Castle, which is now under his control. Our first look at the true evil of this adventure comes at the very end of the game, in a shocking plot twist of who is really behind everything. This kicks off arguably the best final boss fight in Zelda history, a 4-stage battle against Ganondorf to save Hyrule, going down to a one-on-one sword duel. A sword duel that ends with Link plunging the Master Sword right through Ganondorf, ending the era of Twilight. A familiar face, Ocarina of Time. Moving on to one of the most highly regarded games in the series, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. The adventure where Link is but a mere forest boy who is practically tossed into an adventure to save Hyrule without much say. Without going too much into the game's story, shortly into the game, Link leaps 7 years into the future. A future in which Ganondorf has taken over Hyrule and began making it his own. Within this nightmare-struck Hyrule, the now adult Link meets a mysterious character named Sheik, an agile ninja like Sheikah who offers advice for Link. He introduces himself to Link as the survivor of the Sheikahs. Sheik's role in the story is to help Link awaken the 7 sages in order to save Hyrule. While Sheik can't directly help Link with traversing dungeons, fighting bosses, and solving puzzles, he does advise Link on where to go, what to do, and most importantly, teaching Link all of the elemental warping songs linked to each dungeon. In what is a dark and gloomy Hyrule under the control of Ganondorf, Sheik is someone who keeps Link motivated in his quest to save Hyrule and ultimately Princess Zelda. After Link has freed the sages, he heads back to the Temple of Time, only to be confronted once again by Sheik, but this meeting was a special one. Sheik tells Link that he has a secret to tell him, and strictly only him. Sheik reveals that he is in fact, not a he, Princess Zelda, followed by an apology and explanation for the disguise. Princess Zelda explains that after Ganondorf took over Hyrule, she had to disguise herself in order to avoid certain imprisonment from Ganondorf. So she helped Link in a ruined Hyrule in the form of an alter ego, Sheik. Unfortunately, after this dramatic reveal, Ganondorf senses the presence of Princess Zelda and jumps on the opportunity to capture her. This is exactly why Zelda had been hiding her true identity. It had only been moments that she was exposed as Zelda, and instantly, Ganondorf was onto her. This plot twist ranks so highly purely down to how important a character Princess Zelda is, and her importance to the story. Link had been on a quest to save her and take down Ganondorf, but little did he know, Princess Zelda was a lot closer than he thought. Just a Dream, Link's Awakening. Setting sail to the island of Koholint, we have the adventure of Link's Awakening. The story where Link is sailing the seas and suddenly an unforeseeable storm hits his voyage, destroying his ship and rendering him unconscious in the harsh, choppy waves of the sea. He wakes up the next morning on a paradise beach, the shores of Koholint Island. A young girl known as Marin spots Link washed up on the beach during a walk and promptly wakes him up. This kicks off Link's Awakening. Link quickly finds out he is washed up on an island. Nothing too big, just an island made up of a village or two, some woodlands and historic structures. But things get rather strange really quick. The islanders begin to appear strange and a bit nutty. An owl begins to talk to Link, and all of a sudden, before Link knows it, he's on a quest to seek out 8 instruments of the siren to awaken what's known as the Windfish atop Mount Tamaranch. Link is under the impression to leave the island he must awaken this Windfish. He's been given a task and won't quit until it's done. He ventures into the game's 8 dungeons and eliminates the nightmares, which are the dungeon bosses. And during this quest, things just get stranger and stranger. Once he has obtained all 8 instruments and goes to wake the Windfish, the egg the Windfish is hibernating within cracks open a door, and on the inside is a weird, supernatural-like maze that Link must navigate through to reach the source of the Windfish's sleep. Once located, Link is faced with Shadow Nightmares, 5 shadowy monsters that have been terrorizing the Windfish in its sleep, causing unbearable nightmares. This is what Link had worked up to, waking and freeing the Windfish from its nightmare. Upon victory over the nightmares, a staircase appears, which leads Link up an unreal journey of nothingness, until he reaches the top where he finally meets the Windfish he's been fighting for this entire time. The Windfish reveals to Link that it had a dream with an egg that was surrounded by an island with people, animals, and just an entire world. But soon reveals that upon awakening, Koholint will vanish, and all of a sudden, we begin to see the island flash into non-existence. All of our new friends, memories, and love for this island vanishing in front of our eyes. We don't really know what's going on. Koholint was a dream. Shortly after, Link wakes up in the midst of his shipwreckage, the morning after his ship was wrecked in an unforeseeable storm, hearing the echoing vocals of Marin, the islander girl who first awoke him on Koholint Island. The same island that doesn't exist. The plot twist here is the entire game. It was all a dream. The Grand Plan, Ocarina of Time. If you already know what I'm about to say, then you definitely saw this one coming. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is, as previously mentioned, the adventure where Link is sealed in time for 7 years, and awakens to a destroyed and overrun Hyrule in what is generally considered by fans as the best Zelda game. Whilst it's not my favourite, it does have my all-time favourite plot twist. The beginning portion of the game is played out as Child Link, a young heroic boy out on a quest to help Princess Zelda, but boy did that lead to so much more. No, not that. He seeks out 3 spiritual stones in order to enter the Sacred Realm. This is all part of Princess Zelda's plan to stop Ganondorf, who recently swore allegiance to the king, swearing down that he's on the same side as the king. But little did Link and Princess Zelda know, Ganondorf was on a whole other level of intelligence. When Link opened the Door of Time and pulled the Master Sword, Ganondorf had followed Link into the Sacred Realm in an attempt to steal the Triforce, but how did he know Link would be here? Well, you see, prior to all of this, Ganondorf attempted to steal the 3 spiritual stones for himself from their respective homes, but was unsuccessful, as each guardian of each race refused to hand them over to the King of Evil. And then, in a fit of rage, Ganondorf placed a death curse on the Great Deku Tree and Lord Jabu Jabu, along with blocking the entrance to Dodongo's cavern. Instead, he allowed Link to obtain them. Ganondorf played the slow and steady game, and then when Link was ready to enter the Sacred Realm, he pounced. Ganondorf was partially successful in stealing the Triforce from the Sacred Realm. When he touched it, the Triforce split into 3. Following this, Link was sealed for 7 years within the Sacred Realm due to not being ready to have the Master Sword, and Ganondorf took over Hyrule. This is without a doubt my favourite plot twist in the series. It's not often that the evils of the Zelda series play the patient game. Most of them are just malicious monsters out to kill. But Ganondorf was smart here. He knew he couldn't win by his own doing, so instead he allowed his enemy, Link, to do the work for him, and then seized on an opportunity, which ultimately resulted in him taking over the Kingdom of Hyrule. A truly genius and evil plan that actually worked. Thanks a ton for checking out this video. I really hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more smashing Zelda content. What do you guys think? What is the best plot twist in the Zelda series? Whether it be a shocking twist, an unpredictable move, or what have you. Let me know in the comments down below. You may have also noticed some updates to the channel in terms of my logo and banner, so let me know what you think of those. I really like them personally, but I want to know what you guys think. I have a lot of new stuff in the works, from videos to some secret stuff, so keep up to date by following me on Twitter and right here on YouTube. Oh, and my Discord server. Special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters for your generous support as well. It really does help me to run the channel, so thank you all so much. Again, thanks for watching, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.